Hey friends, welcome back to the Happy Homestead. Today is a what's for dinner video. My eye's twitching. Just noticed that. You might see that. I was not planning on filming. There it goes again. I was not planning on filming tonight. But I want to keep up with the regular cadence of 2 videos a week. And also, I just kind of wanted to show you real life because I know that you're experiencing real life. There's no facade and there's no acting and there's no staging. It is a weeknight. It is currently 5:15 on a weeknight. My husband just took both kids because my son has soccer practice tonight. So grateful that he's taking them so I can work on some dinner. But I wanted to show you kind of like a really quick dinner that I'm planning. I don't have any energy. I'm pretty tired from a long work day, but people must eat. Dinner must go on. And I know that you find yourself probably in these predicaments daily, weekly, monthly, whatever the cadence is for you. So wanted to share with you what we're doing. We're going to be having Salisbury steak meatballs with roasted broccoli and mashed potatoes. I was craving something kind of comforting and hearty. And I'm also doing Whole30. If you follow along with me on Instagram, I put this out there a few days ago that I started my Whole30 journey almost a week ago now, The Whole30 just means you're only eating whole foods. It's no diet. It's no thing you need to buy food or track points or track calories. It's just eating whole foods. So nothing processed, no sugar, no alcohol, no grains. That means no breads, no rice, quinoa, bulgur, oats, those kinds of things. No dairy. No dairy. And no legumes, so no beans. There's no sulfites and no carrageenan. And a lot of people ask, what's carrageenan? Well, if you buy canned coconut milk, that's the best example I can give you. Usually carrageenan is in there and it's a thickener. I do not know enough about it to know, is it bad? Is it good? Is it a food sensitivity for people? I don't know. But those are the basic rules. And so you just eat all of the fruits and vegetables you want. You can eat all of the meats you want, right? The lean meats. All of the healthy fats, like I can have olive oil or avocado oil or eat an avocado. No peanut butter, because that's a legume, right? Peanuts are legumes. And it's all herbs and spices, those kinds of things. So today's either my 5th or 6th day, and I feel good, but I feel tired today. And so I need something comforting. I need something a little bit more hearty. So Salisbury steak meatballs it is. I'm going to put this together fairly quickly and hopefully this inspires you some busy weeknight. Okay, let me show you what we have here. So on the counter, I have 2 packages of organic broccoli. I get this from Azure Standard. I have 1 package of cauliflower, and the reason is because these are all the potatoes I have. I really have got to go buy more potatoes. So I'm gonna actually cook the cauliflower with the potatoes and kind of mash it all together just to give me a little bit more volume. And then in here is what we're gonna make our meatballs out of. But I really enjoy hacks, life cooking hacks. So I'm gonna add all of my potatoes in my Instant Pot. I put the rack on the bottom, and I'm gonna put about 1 inch or 2 worth of water in here also. You can easily cut your potatoes up for the Instant Pot to help them cook a little bit faster. I'm just gonna leave them as is for now. I'm gonna put them on 25 minutes high pressure natural release. So natural release, in case you don't know, natural release means that when the time is up on the Instant Pot, I'm not manually releasing the steam, that pressure. I'm letting it naturally releasing on its own. and it takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to do that. I'm leaving the cauliflower out right now. This is just frozen cauliflower. Once the potatoes are cooked and the natural release has gone down, I will then just add these and kind of maybe use my immersion blender or just a potato masher with some salt, some pepper, maybe a little ghee. So I can't have butter, but I can have ghee, which is clarified butter. Basically means all of the milk solids have been taken out. And that's what we'll use to make our mashed cauliflower mashed potatoes. All right, next, easy, we're gonna just get our broccoli out on a parchment lined cookie sheet. I probably don't need to cook 2 bags, but I want to make sure that there is always something good in the refrigerator for me for leftovers, whether it be lunch or dinner over the weekend. I'm not turning the oven on yet because my family won't be home for a little while, but eventually I'm going to roast these at around 375. It won't take long. Once the ice crystals come off, the water starts to evaporate, they'll get down to like a beautiful kind of crispy broccoli, and you can season with salt and pepper, but anywhere from 375 to 400 degrees for about 15-20 minutes. All right, last but not least, our Salisbury steak meatballs. So in this bowl, I have 1 egg, 1 pound of grass-fed ground beef, half of a yellow onion diced, and 2 cloves of garlic minced. I'm just gonna start adding some seasoning, ground pepper, half teaspoon Redmond real salt, some dried thyme, Dijon mustard. I'm going to do about maybe a tablespoon of Dijon. Coconut aminos. I cannot eat soy sauce on the Whole30 plan because soy is a legume, but I can do coconut aminos in place of it. And then I'm just going to really kind of mix this together, try to incorporate all of the ingredients. So you may be wondering, why am I doing Whole30 and am I subjecting my family to this? So I'll start with the why. I did this back in January of 2023, just to kind of reset and start the new year. And I really enjoyed how I felt. In the beginning, you do feel a little sluggish, a little tired, because you're basically kind of detoxing, I guess is the best word. And that can take a little bit out of you, but really within the next couple of days, I should start feeling a lot better, having more energy. But the reason I'm doing it is I felt so good doing it in January. I really want to do it at least twice a year. Every 6 months, or 3 times a year, every 4 months. That's my goal, is every 4 months, 3 times a year. And so that means really for 90 days out of the year, I am eating super clean, which I like the idea of that. I was just starting to feel kind of like sluggish. I mean, everybody knows that feeling. Bloated. I don't think I necessarily have food sensitivities, but I do think when I eat outside of my own kitchen and outside of the things that we have in this kitchen, I notice it. I can feel it in my face, in my body, and in my energy levels. I start to actually develop a little bit of a rash around my lips sometimes. And I was noticing that over the last couple of weeks. And so I just really wanted to do a reset for my own health, my gut health, and just to feel better. And so it's also kind of like called the elimination diet. It's just about eliminating all of those things that could be a food sensitivity for you, and then gradually adding them back in after the 30 days is up. so that you can get a better idea of how that kind of food affects you. I plan on adding everything back in at some point. I don't know how gradual I'll be with it, but I plan on being a lot more mindful of what I'm eating outside of our own kitchen and outside of what we make. So that's the why. Am I subjecting my family? No. Tonight's meal just happens to be something that can work for everybody, but I have been cooking just regular meals. They had sausage bolognese with rigatoni the other night, and they're eating breads and rice and doing all the things. I am just making sure I set aside enough for me for dinner and lunch that does not incorporate any ingredients that I'm not supposed to have. So it's nice when I don't have to do that, like tonight's dinner. It can just work for everybody. All right, my beef is thoroughly mixed together. We're gonna start making some meatballs. In the meantime, I'm gonna get some olive oil in a stainless steel saucepan on the stove, just very lightly warmed up, because we're going to brown our meatballs in the olive oil on the pan, and then we're gonna make our gravy. Okay, so I've got my stainless steel skillet with a little bit of olive oil warming up here. I am just gonna start taking some of the meat. Now, normally with the meatballs, you would add some sort of thickener, like maybe like a binding agent, like a breadcrumb. So that's the word I'm thinking of. So if you have almond flour, you could absolutely use that. I mean, this is just a little sticky. Yeah, but you could absolutely add breadcrumbs if you were not worrying about bread and grains. So while those are cooking up, I'm just gonna try and brown them on all 4 sides, or 6 sides, however many sides your meatball has. Our sauce, our gravy, I can't thicken my gravy with a roux. I can't use butter. While I could use the ghee, I can't use flour. You could use arrowroot starch or tapioca powder or tapioca flour. I don't really have either. So we're not gonna be thickening it too much. But I am gonna be using 2 little cans of these organic sliced mushrooms. I get these by the case at Azure Standard, and they come in handy for things like this. They are so good, so easy, so great to have on hand. I'm also going to be adding some home canned beef stock. I only have quarts. I don't have any pints. Otherwise I would have opened a pint jar. I have a bunch of beef bones that I was hoping to have gotten to in the Every Bit Counts challenge, but that'll get attended to hopefully in the next couple of months, and I'll make some more beef stock. But I'm gonna use about half of this. I'm also gonna add just a little bit of more Dijon mustard. I have a little bit more in here. Salt, pepper, a little more thyme, and that may be it, just to kind of create a really good sauce for our meatballs and our mashed potatoes. I just remembered I had something else I really want to add to this for some more flavor and some more satisfaction, because my food lately hasn't been very satisfying, and that is these caramelized onions. These are homegrown onions. I think I have a video on this. If I do, I'll link it, where my onions did not produce like as big and get as wonderful and big as they should have been. And so I sliced them all. I did various things, freeze dried a bunch, and then I put some in my crock pot with a little salt, pepper, and olive oil, and I caramelized them overnight and then put them in these jars and froze them. So I am going to add these caramelized onions to our Salisbury Steak meatballs too. Okay, the meatballs are probably not entirely cooked through, but they are browned. So I'm going to take them out of the pan and then kind of get my sauce going in the pan. The reason I'm taking these out is because I just don't want them to start to really fall apart, and they very well may. I want them to retain as much of their shabby chic meatball shape as possible, because they are a little shabby chic. Look at them. To help deglaze the pan, I'm gonna add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Half of our beef stock. A little more than half. The remainder of our Dijon here, probably about another tablespoon. 2 cans of mushrooms. And I'm gonna try to get my caramelized onions in here also. I'm gonna leave that on medium heat and just kind of let everything come together, let the caramelized onions melt down, and then we'll come back. Okay, our sauce has come together and it smells so good. I turned my burner down to low. It's on a 2. I'll probably actually go to just low, and I'm going to carefully place all of my meatballs back in and just put the cover on and let them just sit and bathe in this gorgeous sauce. The potatoes are done in the Instant Pot. I'm just waiting for the pressure to naturally release. The broccoli has been in the oven for probably about 15 minutes at 350, and I turned the oven off but left the broccoli in it. The pressure has gone down in the Instant Pot, and our potatoes are done. I am just going to drain the water out very carefully, and then we'll make our mashed potatoes. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is add in the cauliflower, and then I'm gonna put the lid back on. And I'm just gonna leave it sit for about 5-7 minutes and let that cauliflower really kind of thaw out. Just gonna use my potato masher, mash everything up. This is very rustic. What did I say before? Shabby chic meatballs. Well, this is rustic mashed potatoes. They're not peeled. They're not gonna be velvety, silky smooth. But they're gonna be delicious. And they're gonna be filling. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of ghee in. You could certainly add butter, salt and pepper. I think actually if you roasted some garlic and then put some roasted garlic in here too, that would be so good. Thanks for joining me on making our Salisbury meatballs, cauliflower and potato mash, and roasted broccoli. I'm really excited to eat dinner, and you can make it for yourself if you're doing any sort of elimination diet, or you can make it for your family with whatever you'd like. Stay healthy, stay well. Bye-bye.